Next on Worcester News Tonight, a cab driver recovering after being shot early this morning in another attempted robbery. And the road to the Frozen Four goes through Worcester. A look at today's action in the Northeast Regional. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. Worcester police searching for two men they say shot a cab driver after trying to rob him early this morning. The incident happened on Country Club Boulevard. Police say the cab driver was dropping off the two men when one of them pulled out a gun and demanded money. The driver was shot by the suspects, who then ran away but didn't take anything from the driver. He was transported to the hospital with several gunshot wounds, but he is expected to survive.
I just wish that people would be kinder to each other and more gentle to each other, and know that we're all here for the same purpose.
We have seen an uptick in robberies of livery drivers and also food delivery drivers as well late at night. We actually put out safety tips not too long ago, and we had detectives, investigators actually go to certain businesses that are prone or more at risk, and just to kind of educate and just apply some common sense when you go into specific areas in the city.
One suspect is described as a Hispanic man about 5'5", possibly in his mid-20s, with short, dark hair. The other suspect is described as a white or Hispanic male about 5'10" tall with long, dark hair. Anyone with any information is urged to call police. Oxford police are urging people to stay alert about a phone scam where the caller claims to have kidnapped a family member. The warning comes after dealing with a UConn student who drove all the way to Oxford to withdraw money earlier this week. Police say the student received a phone call that her brother had been kidnapped and they demanded money. Now, the caller told the student to drive to central Massachusetts to find a bank to withdraw money out of. She ended up at this Honey Farms in Oxford, where she gave a note to someone who worked there saying she was in trouble. Meanwhile, the girl's father, who lives in New York, had also called police, claiming he had been contacted by someone who told him that they had kidnapped his daughter. Now, the police intervened and no money was exchanged. They explained to all parties what happened and that their loved ones were safe. They continue to investigate the matter. Here in Worcester, police are investigating an alleged sexual assault at one of the school's fraternities. School officials at WPI say the incident occurred back in January and was reported by the fraternity the next day. The school confirms that the individual is no longer a student at WPI. No names have been released. The school released a statement saying in part that WPI takes the issue of sexual assault very seriously and they are committed to the health and well-being of their students. They do not tolerate violence of any kind. Indictments handed down today in the murder of 18-year-old Sam Castro. 19-year-old Emil Encarnacion and 19-year-old Connor Ferguson were indicted. Castro was shot dead last May near his home on Frederick Street. According to the DA's office, the indictments came after the grand jury heard evidence. Encarnacion was arraigned on Friday. He pled not guilty and was held without bail. Ferguson is expected to be arraigned on Monday. The NCAA Northeast Regional Hockey Tournament kicks off today at the DCU Center. 4 teams competing for one spot to advance to the Frozen Four. Before the teams hit the ice, our Brittany Schaefer caught up with some excited hockey fans.
Hockey fans from near and far are in the city Friday. Harvard fan Henry Smith has been to the past 30 years of NCAA hockey tournament games. Today, he flew from Washington, D.C.
I come from Washington, D.C. just to see this. I grew up in Worcester, and so perfect place to come see the hockey playoffs.
Scott McPhee is also happy with the regional's location, though he didn't have to take a plane.
We were ecstatic. That was our first choice. Albany would have been our second, as long as we didn't have to get on a plane.
Both fans have predictions for who they believe will be going to the Frozen Four.
Harvard is going to go all the way. They're looking good this year. It's the best team they've had in a long time.
It's tough to compare, and when you win the national championship, can't get any better than that.
Scott McPhee's son is a junior playing for Providence College. The president of Worcester Professional Hockey, Toby O'Brien, says it's the juniors he will be watching closest at Friday and Saturday's games.
The juniors will be the kids that we will focus on a year out from now. So I need to keep a good book and stay fresh and stay current. So I'm going to watch intently.
O'Brien says the Worcester pro hockey team has been well received by the city, and he looks forward to their season start in October of 2017.
There's nothing bad about minor league sports in the city. It's all good. Whether it's the baseball team, whether it's the hockey team, it's just something good for the city.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
We'll have a recap of tonight's matchups coming up later in sports. Many Christians headed to church today for Good Friday services, which commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Here's a look at one service held earlier today at Assumption College's Chapel of the Holy Spirit. Now, those who went to Mass today will also take part in Sunday's Easter celebration, which marks the day that, according to the Bible, Jesus rose and ascended into heaven. The holiday is also a big one full of candy and other treats, courtesy of the Easter Bunny. Our Tim McCone has a look at this weekend's preparations.
Easter is still a couple of days away, but the Crown Bakery has been hard at work getting ready for the holiday.
It's a whole week of excitement, or a week and a half we have to prepare. It's very busy, it's exciting.
For the bakery, Easter is one of their busiest times of the year.
After Christmas and Thanksgiving, it's right up there. Easter is right there.
At Hebert Candy Mansion, Friday is their busiest day of the year.
We'll have approximately 800 plus transactions at the register, but their families are with them, so it's well over 1,000.
Along with picking up treats for Easter baskets, some of the younger visitors also get to meet a special guest.
Most of them are thrilled to be here. We do get some newbies that are a little terrified of the Easter Bunny, but we change that fast.
In Spencer, preparations are underway at Bemis Farms for the annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, with a little help from the community.
We actually have one of the senior centers put them together for us, and we do about 5,000 eggs.
This year, they're expecting between 850 to 1,000 kids to participate.
It is one of those crazy, crazy fun days. We've been doing this for about 15 years, and it's crazy. There's kids everywhere, eggs everywhere, so fun times.
Tim McCone, Worcester News Tonight.
That's a sweet story there from our own Tim McCone. Well, Easter egg hunts are a very popular activity, and one local church is taking it to a whole other level this Sunday. Next Level Church here in Worcester is inviting everyone to its helicopter egg drop this Sunday. Yes, you heard that right. That's a helicopter egg drop. They plan to drop a bunch of eggs from the sky at an undisclosed location. All will be revealed this Sunday at church.
We're in. We want to see people enjoying the weekend, being together as a family, and we thought, this is a great spin on it.
Again, you can find the information on their website. They say the first egg drop takes place around 12:30, but you have to attend their service to find out where the eggs will be dropped from. Polar Seltzer has come up with a new look and flavor just in time for April Fool's Day. The Worcester-based company announced it is changing its logo from a bear to a unicorn. Our Olivia Lemon has the details on the new flavor.
Once upon a time, our great-grandfather arrived in New England with a pocket full of rainbows.
Keith Reardon is reading the back label of the new Unicorn Kisses flavored Polar Seltzer water.
The bottle's hysterical. It's got a unicorn on it. It talks about unicorn kisses. It says that it tastes like sparkling rainbows.
The story on the bottle goes on to say, each night the grandfather searched Wachusett Mountain for a place to hide his treasure. The grandfather found a unicorn who blew him a kiss and filled the man's bottle with a sparkle called Seltzer.
How do you go wrong with a cool bottle like this?
Polar Beverages mascot Orson the Bear says in a press release, "We have been making our seltzer since 1882, and we felt it was time to get back to the truth."
We thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Amber Valancourt was with Reardon when they first read about the new flavor on Facebook. Valancourt says she didn't think it was true, so she called Polar to find out.
I have two questions. She goes, "Are you looking for unicorn kisses?" So before I could even talk, so she must have been getting a lot of calls, and she's like, "You better hurry, they're flying off the shelves everywhere."
Valancourt says she and Reardon went into several grocery stores in Worcester and bought more than 70 bottles of the drink.
As far as marketing goes, I think this is one of the most clever April Fool's marketing campaigns I've ever seen. And the fact that they actually came out with a bottle, I think, is funny.
The Worcester-based company says the new flavor has been released to chill consumers and leverage the unmet demand for sparkle and happiness. As far as the flavor goes, Valancourt and Reardon can't quite decide what it tastes like.
It tasted like Airhead, like the mystery flavor Airheads.
It's like candy. It tastes like sort of like an Airhead or a Nerd or something like that. But it's a different flavor that you wouldn't expect.
Olivia Lemon,